Hello, good morning, my dear student. Today we are going to discuss about the introduction of parasitology. That means what mainly parasitology is and what are the parasites and who is the father of this parasitology or modern parasitology. Then what about the parasitology? Parasitology it is the science of relationship between two organisms. And in this parasitology, the two organisms, one is the parasite and the other is the host. So, parasitology is the science that study about the relationship between two organisms. One is parasite and the another is host. This is about the parasitology. Then what do you mean by parasitology? Then the another is the clinical parasitology. Clinical parasitology is a group of interdisciplinary group of LPD staff. LPD means Laboratory for Parasitic Diseases, and the clinical parasitology is mainly deals about those groups which are mainly concerned about the clinical parasite. And the main goal for this clinical parasitology is usually to get insight into the clinical syndrome associated with the parasitic infection. This is the first goal for clinical parasitology. And the another goal is to understand the clinical disease, and the another goal is the to identify better way for treating that disease caused by the type of the parasite, and then the another is the to develop better diagnostic tool. These four main aim is the goal of clinical parasitology. And clinical parasitology is a group which is mainly concerned about those clinically important parasite which causes different diseases in human beings as well as in animals. So this is about the clinical parasitology. Then what do you mean by medical parasitology? The medical parasitology is mainly deals about the medical parasitology. Medical parasitology mainly deals about the structure of the parasite. It mainly deals on the structure of parasites, then their life cycle, the life cycle of the parasite, and pathogenicity means the diseases caused by the parasite, and their transmission of the disease, their epidemiology as well as control of the disease. This is about the medical parasitology. That means medical parasitology mainly deals about those parasites which causes diseases in human being, and here in medical parasitology we mainly deal about the structure of the parasite, their life cycle, the disease caused by the parasite, the transmission and the control of the type of the disease. So this is about the medical parasitology. Then there are who is the father of parasitology or modern parasitology? Who is the father of parasitology or modern parasitology? Father of modern parasitology. Father of modern parasitology, the Italian Francesco Redi. The Italian Francesco Ready 1684. Italian scientist which wrote about more than 100 parasites, and he is also known as the father of modern parasitology, and he get Nobel Prize about the parasites, so he is known as the father of modern parasitology, the Italian Francesco Redi. So then usually parasites or parasitism is the study of two organisms. So association of two organisms which is known as the symbiosis. Here we can discuss about one term which is known as the symbiosis, and this is the biological phenomenon about the relationship between two living things. This is the biological phenomenon. Biological phenomenon about the relationship between two organisms. Symbiosis is the biological phenomenon about a relationship between two organisms. Then, in the symbiosis, we find three different types. They are the commensalism, mutualism, and parasitism. There are three types of the symbiosis. There are the commensalism, mutualism, and the parasitism. Then, what do you mean by commensalism? It is the relationship between two organisms where one organism benefits but the other is neutral. It is the relationship between two organisms where one organism is beneficial and other is neutral. For example, a female pea crab in the mental cavity of muzzle hose. In the mental cavity of muzzle hose. Here, it is a relationship between two organisms. One organism is beneficial but the other organism is neutral. So, this is about the commensalism. Then, the next type is the mutualism. Mutualism here, which is beneficial to both living things, and association which is beneficial to both living things, For example, a selection of ciliates from the rumen of cattle or sheep. For example, a selection of ciliates from the rumen of cattle or sheep. This is about the mutualism where both organisms get beneficial. Then the third type is the parasitism. Parasitism. It is an association which is beneficial to one partner. An association which is beneficial to only one partner and harmful to the other partner. Harmful to the other partner, which is known as the parasitism. For example, human endoparasites. For example, liver flap. There are so many examples for this parasitism. So, this is three types of the symbiosis. That is, one is the commensalism, where only one host is beneficial, the other is neutral. The another is the mutualism, where this is the association between two organisms. Here, both organisms get beneficial. And the third type is the parasitism. Here, only one host is beneficial and the another is usually infected or harmful. This is about the different relationship of this symbiosis. Then the other is the classification of parasites. What about the parasite? Classification of parasites. Here we can study the parasitic kingdom include three phyla. It includes three phyla. Number 1, Protozoa. Number 2, helminths. And number 3, arthropods. The parasites having three phyla, they are the Protozoa, helminth and arthropod. We can discuss in different classes under this phylum. Then first one is the Protozoa. Under Protozoa, we can discuss 4 different classes under Protozoa. Then class number 1. Class number 1 is the class Sarcodina. Sarcodina under Protozoa, and in this case the parasites that move by means of pseudopodia. Parasites move by means of pseudopodia. Then example is the Entamoeba histolytica. Example is the Entamoeba histolytica. This is the example of under this class Sarcodina. Then next the class number 2 is the Mastigophora. Mastigophora here. In this case, the parasite is moved with the help of flagella, by means of flagella. And examples under this Mastigophora is Giardia lamblia. Then the next class is the class Ciliates. Class number 3, class Ciliates. And the parasite under this class is moved by means of cilia. By means of cilia. For example is the Balantidium coli. Balantidium coli. And the last class under this protozoa, class number 4 is the sporozoa. Class number 4, sporozoa. In this case, the parasite have both sexual and asexual reproductive organs. Have both sexual and asexual reproductive organs. All these parasites are intracellular and they have no organ of locomotion. These parasites are intracellular. They are intracellular and they have no organ of locomotion. Have no organ of locomotion. For example, Plasmodium parasite causing malaria. Plasmodium parasites causing malaria. These are the different parasites under this protozoa, that is protozoan parasite. These are all about the protozoan parasites. Then the next one is the helminths. Section number 2 is the helminths, that is helminth parasite. This is most important one, helminth parasites called. Under this helminth parasite, we can discuss about 3 different groups. Class number 1, Nematoda. Class 1, Nematoda, which is known as the roundworm, and it includes intestinal nematodes. Intestinal nematodes, for example, Ascaris lumbricoides. Then next, class number 2, class Cestoda. Class Cestoda, that is about the tapeworms. This is all about the tapeworms, and they are flattened and segmented worms. They are flattened and segmented worms. For example, Taenia solium. Then the last one is the Trematoda. Trematoda are the different flukes. They are flattened lip shape. They are dorso-ventrally flattened and lip shape. For example, liver fluk and or another example is Schistosoma hematobium. This is about the different helminth parasite which causes diseases in human beings. So the next one is about the arthropods. The next is the third group is the all about the arthropods. Among arthropods, we can discuss about two class Insecta and the class Arachnida. Class Insecta and class Arachnida. These are the two groups which possess parasites, for example, mosquito, lice, and the fleas. Mosquitoes, lice, and fleas under class Insecta, and under Arachnida, for example, tick and mites. These are different forms of parasites which can be discussed in three different groups. That is, one is the protozoan parasite, and in the protozoan parasite we discuss in four different classes, and another is the helminth parasite, which are usually divided under three different groups. One is the nematode, common roundworm parasite. The another is the cestode, which is the tapeworm, and the another is the trematodes, which is the usually endoparasitic dorsoventral flattened leaf-like worm, which is, for example, liver flug and Schistosoma hematobium. And the another group is the arthropods. Under these arthropods, we can discuss about the class Insecta and Arachnida. And the example of class Insecta is the mosquito, lice, fleas, etc. And the another class is the class Arachnida. It is all about the tick and the mite. This is about the different classification of parasites. Then what about the different hosts? Because parasitology is a relationship between the parasite and the host, so we can discuss about their definitive hosts and intermediate hosts. Definitive hosts are those hosts where adult stages are present, where adult parasites are present. Definitive hosts are the hosts where other parasites are present, and the another is the intermediate host. Intermediate hosts are those hosts where larvae form are present. In this case, the adult parasites, for example, human and different domesticated animals, is the example of definitive hosts, and intermediate hosts are the freshwater, for example, the freshwater snail, as well as in case of different form of the parasite, they have different larval form. For example, sheep also, for example, pig also, which usually load as the intermediate host in some parasitic form. So this is about the definitive host and the intermediate host. Then what are different form of the parasite? Form of parasite. For one, the endoparasite, ectoparasite, facultative parasite, and obligatory parasite. Obligatory parasite. The endoparasites are those parasites which are present inside the body of the host, inside the body of the organism, inside the body of the organism, inside the body of the host. They are present inside the body of their host. The endoparasite are those parasites which are present inside the body of their host. Ectoparasites are parasites, they are present in the outside the ectodermal lining of their body. They are usually attached in the ectodermal lining of their body. They are present outside the body covering. Ectoparasite present outside the body covering of their host, and a facultative parasite. These parasites are the parasites which are accidentally entered inside the body and they become parasite. Otherwise, it can live as a free living, which is known as the facultative parasite. Then the another one is the obligatory parasite. Obligatory parasites are fully dependent on the host. They are fully dependent on the host. For specific stages of their life cycle. For specific stages of their life cycle or the entire length of their lives or the entire length of their lives. This is about form of the parasite. Here we get 4 types of the parasite: endoparasite, ectoparasite, facultative parasite, and obligatory parasite. Endoparasites are those parasites which are present inside the body of their host. For example, there are so many endoparasites. For example, liver flare, Ascaris lumbricoid, Wucheria bankrupti, and the another blood parasite, Schistosoma, Hematobium, etc. These are all an example of endoparasite. And ectoparasites are present inside the outer body covering of their host. For example, teeth, mite, certain arthropod parasites are the example of ectoparasite. And the facultative parasite. Facultative parasites are the parasites which are accidentally present inside the body of their host but otherwise they can live as a free living. For example, roundworm, Strongylor, Stercorellis. The example of facultative parasite is Strongylos, Stercorellis. Facultative parasite. Example is Strongylos, Stercorellis. Stercorellis. This is the example of facultative parasite where these parasites are present as a free living outside the body. Then when it accidentally enters inside the body of their host, then it becomes parasite. For example, Strongylos stercorellis, which causes strongylo these diseases, and this is the example of facultative parasite.